Rashmi found a decent job in the UK through an agency. It pays 100,000 rupees for her job. It has decent pay and it's a great job, so she decides to accept it. When she arrives at the UK, a man greets her warmly and takes her passport, saying that there's actually no nursing job for her. It's just a bit of housekeeping work. She thinks that, well, it's fine. The family treats her nicely for the first few days, but Rashmi soon saw the reality of this situation. She has no bed. She's forced to work 12 hours straight and only fed on leftovers. She was constantly threatened that if she dares to leave the house unaccomplished, she will be beaten. Rashmi is a victim of modern-day slavery. Modern-day slavery affects every single country on earth, including our own. Modern-day slavery is everywhere, often hidden in plain sight. The people who are enslaved, they might be making your clothes, producing your food, working in a factory, or working at a home as a cook, cleaner, or nanny. These people are threatened with violence, or sometimes put in an inescapable debt. These people, they wanted to promote their families up. They wanted to give their families a better life to live, to feed their families better, to give their children a better education. But now, they cannot escape. Their dreams and hopes are dashed away. Slavery, it can mean many things. It can be many things. It is many things. Slavery is a system in which a person is owned and bought as property and do not have any rights. They do this against one's will and are often threatened with violence. Now, there is an estimated of 40.3 million people who are enslaved worldwide. A staggering number. It's a surprise that no one has seen it. I want you to compare this diagram to the next diagram. This diagram shows the different people who are impoverished around the world. As you can see in this diagram, most of the people who are trafficked are from these poor places. This is because they have less money and security than any other. This makes them more vulnerable to the traps that traffickers will lay. But that does not mean that people from rich places do not get trafficked. Traffickers do not care how much you earn annually. They care how much you can earn them annually. These diagrams show the distribution of different types of slavery around the world. As you can see, women and children make up sex trafficking, while men, women, and children make up forced labor. This diagram shows the different distributions of gender and age in modern-day slavery. As you can see in this diagram, 86% of the people who are enslaved are females. This is because females can fit in both the sex trafficking industry and the forced labor industry. Second diagram shows the different age groups that the people enslaved are in. As you can see, 12 to 17-year-olds and 18 to 23-year-olds are the people who are most commonly enslaved, each making up 17% of the people who are enslaved. The second largest group, sadly, are the 0 to 11-year-olds, child slavery. The different types of slavery a person is put in this diagram. You can see that 77% of the people who are enslaved right now are in the sex trafficking industry. This is because sex trafficking is the third most profitable industry in the entire world. The second one, domestic working. The people who work as cooks, cleaners, nannies at your home are unsafe. Then, agriculture and animal husbandry. The people who produce your food. When you eat a meal, do you ever think about it? That the people who produce these foods, the people who cook these foods, are actually enslaved. Such common jobs. Such people enslaved. So many people enslaved are unseen of, unheard of. This is social media. Social media once was a place where you look up your question that you do not know in your homework. Social media is something you use to contact your friends. But social media is also something used by traffickers to track down these potential victims. Social media, it can be the biggest salvation and threat to a person trapped in modern-day slavery. As you see here, social media can be abused in so many ways. First, restriction of social media use. The restricting of a victim to use social media to call for help from families or a national hotline. This cuts out the victim's contact to the outer world, restricting the victim from asking for their salvation, causing them to be unseen, unheard. Second, stalking, monitoring. To see what a victim does on their daily basis, to see what their habits are, what do they like. The better to lay a trap for them, that they will fall the easiest. Third, advertising and exploiting on social media platforms. eBay, Taobao, these are all places where you can buy things. But on some different platforms, they buy and sell people. On the internet, you can hide your identity in so many ways. Your name, your age, your address, you name it. This makes it even harder to track down these traffickers, these slave holders, these victims. These things under the surface that we do not see. This diagram shows the different social media platforms used for trafficking. Each dot represents a few victims that are in this trafficking life cycle, from the potential tracking down of potential victims to the rescuing and rehabilitating victims. How many of these are familiar to you? How many of these have you been using often? How many of these do you see your friends? Talk to your friends. Examples of slavery. This diagram shows an advertisement of a trafficker looking for potential victim. This looks like a dream come true. Look, a perfect job, little work, lots of pay. It's great. At first you might think, well, should I trust it? It seems just too good to be true. But there are so many people who actually believe in this. Stop right there. These are actually one people posting on their own platform. You can have so many identities on the internet, while you're only one. A group of people seems to be more trustworthy than one. That's how the traffickers use our psychological beliefs against us. The second one is an example of a girl calling for help through her family. She is one of the few lucky examples that gets to use social media to call for help. Most people do not have this privilege. Her name is changed for her own protection. Why do other people enslave others? Why are there so many slaves worldwide? An easy answer: profit. Slavery generates $150 billion for a trafficker annually. Slavery is considered one of the most profitable industry in the world. This is an economical crime, says Kevin Bears. People do not enslave other people just to be mean to them. They enslave other people for a profit. Here is a video that showcases the desperation and the victims of being enslaved. These people enslaved, they're right in our backyards. This lets us question our world, this free, advanced world, while there are still so many people that are in this system. Slavery, it is much closer than you think. The people enslaved, sometimes they are forced, they are tricked, sometimes they are put into inescapable debt. These people, they are threatened that if they even dare to think about escaping, their families and them will be harmed. These people, they once had hope. They once hoped that someone will realize that they're trapped here, that someone will come for them, anyone. But after long, they lost that hope. Some of them even wished for death, because death is the only salvation from this living hell they're trapped in. There are many people who are unaware about this brutality, in which there are two types. One, the people who just are unaware of these people, this brutality happening in their backyards. Or two, the people who do not want to know, the people who do not care of this brutality that is happening in their backyards. It hasn't happened to them yet. Why should they care? Well, you know, you have just learned about this brutality that you once might have heard of, but never had seen in such a great scale ever before. You now have seen the unseen. So now, what type of people will you be? Will you unveil the truth? Take the blindfolds off their eyes. Let them see what reality is. That in this free world, there are still millions upon millions of people who are enslaved. Or will you just not care? Will you just throw it in the back of your mind? It hasn't happened to you yet. This is just a faraway talk by a girl in the school. Why should you care? Because it happened to someone else, not you. Thank you.